Okay, here is a video for 4.3 practice A. We get to do long division today. I know we probably did long division way back in third, fourth grade, but now we get to do long division with polynomials. So you kind of see the directions here. It says divide using polynomial long division. Okay, so that's just the first two. I'm just going to do the odds on this worksheet, but I want to recap just long division in a nutshell. Like if we had 123 and we were going to divide that into 5 pieces, the 5 goes on the outside, the 123 goes on the inside because it's 123 divided by 5. So we want to find out how much 5 can go into the 12 because it doesn't go into the 1. 5 goes into 12 2 times, so we would multiply 5 times 2 to get the 10. Okay, now when you have that 10 right there, when you draw your line under it, you're actually going to subtract it. So you're technically changing its sign from a 10 to a negative 10 and subtracting and then bringing down the next number, 3. And then 5 to 23, you're going to need a 4 there. 4 times 5, and you multiply again. 4 times 5 is 20. And again, we're going to change its sign so we can subtract and get a 3. And you always put your remainder over your outside number. So 24 and 3/5, or 24 plus 3/5, you could put a plus in there too, would be your answer. So with that in mind, let's take a look at our polynomial ones. Okay, so what we have, and I'm going to do number 1 right over here. What we have is the x squared plus x plus 12 on the inside divided by x minus 5 on the outside. So x squared plus x plus 12. Now to do this, it's really looking at the first and the first, and you want to find out what can you multiply the outside one by to get the inside one, and that would be an x. So you're going to put that over the x because that's where your like terms are, and then you multiply it by both terms because you got 2 terms on the outside. So x times x, you're going to get your x squared. Okay, that's good news because you want the x squareds to cancel out. Okay, and then your x times negative 5 would be negative 5x. Now remember, I told you that we actually changed the sign to subtract, but when there's 2 terms, you got to distribute it and you got to change both signs. So that negative 5 is going to become a positive 5. And combining them gives you 6x and plus 12. Then we are going to find out what can we multiply the x by out in front here. What can we multiply that by to get a 6x down here? And that would be a 6. So 6 times the x, we got to multiply that, would be 6x. 6 times the negative 5 is negative 30. Because we're going to multiply the 6 times both terms. 6 goes to the x and 6 goes to the 5. And then when you change both signs, the 6x's will cancel and you'll get a 42 here. That's our remainder. That's our plus 42, and you always put the bottom number on the outside number on the bottom. So that would be your solution to number 1. I'll box it up in red for you. It's right there. Okay, so that's number 1. Let's go to number 2, or number 3. I mean, we're going to do the doing the odds for you. Okay, so 3. Outside number is the last one, so that's x squared minus 9. Inside number is x cubed plus x squared minus 9x minus 6. Now you might notice that there skips from x squared to the 9 on the outside. There's no x term, so that we're going to need to put some zeros in here in a minute. But let's look at the first term and the first term, and we're going to need an x. So I'm going to put it over the 9x because that's the same like term to it. And then let's distribute. So we get x times x squared will be x cubed. I'm going to get rid of this little guy in there. And then we don't have an x right now, so no, we don't have an x squared right now because when we do x times the negative 9, we get the negative 9x. We don't have an x squared, so we got to put 0x squared in there as a placeholder. And then again, we're going to change the signs because we need to subtract. That will cancel the front ones. You will get a just x squared here, and these will also cancel. So you've got 0 x's left. You don't have any. And then a minus 6. What can you multiply this outside x squared by to get x squared? And that's just a 1. X squared times 1 is x squared. So I'm going to multiply 1 times x squared to get the x squared. Because again, when we subtract those, they're going to cancel out. And then 1 times 9 would be negative 9. That's got to go over here. So we don't have any x's. We put 0x, and then we're going to subtract. Change all the signs. Those cancel. Zeros we don't even need. So we're going to get a remainder of 3. So your answer here would be plus 3 over the x squared minus 9. Let me box that up in red for you so you can see it. That would be your solution to number 2. All right, let's look at number 5 now. Now they're going to show us a new way called synthetic division. Synthetic. In my opinion, it's actually easier. So I think you're going to like this one. Okay, so this one is telling us to use synthetic division. Okay, so let's look at it. And here's how it works. We want the opposite of the last number. Opposite. Okay, so watch this. So I'm going to come over here and put a number 5. And opposite of negative 3 would be a 3. Okay, then what we want to do is put that little symbol like that, and then put the numbers that are coefficients. Like this number in front of this x squared would be a 1. This number here is a 6, and this number is a 1. So we're going to put a 1, a 6, and a 1. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just bring this first one down. And now I just want to extend this a little bit. I'm sorry. We're going to need to put some numbers in there. Okay, so we're going to bring this one down, and we're going to multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. And that goes, once you multiply them, it goes up there. Okay, so 3 times the 1, we get a 3. Now you just add them and get 9. Okay, then you're going to multiply 3 times 9. And that's going to give you 27 right there. And then you're going to get 28 when you combine. You're just combining. You're doing the CLT here, combining like terms. CLT, combining like terms. So the first two are going to be the first part of your answer. That's going to be an x, a 1x, or just x, and then plus 9. The last number is going to be your remainder. And it's 28 over the outside number, which we said was x minus 3. So it seems a little quicker. And I think once you see it, you'll get the hang of it. But that's how quick it can go. You can just basically multiply and add, and then write your answer down is basically how fast you could go. Let's try 7. We need the opposite of a 2. Opposite of a 2 would be a negative 2. Okay, then we're going to need the numbers that are here. So 2, a 1, and a 5. 2, 1, 5. So bring down the 2, and we need to multiply here. So you're getting negative 2 times 2 would be a negative 4. Add those, you get negative 3. When you just combine them, you're just doing CLT, you're combining like terms. So 1 minus 4 would give you negative 3. When you multiply negative 2 times negative 3, you get a positive 6. So when you combine those, you get 11. So your answer there would be, you got right here, you got 2x minus 3, and then this is your remainder, so plus 11 over the x plus 2. Okay, so that would be your solution to the synthetic division. Okay, so that is number 7. Let's go to 9. Okay, number 9 right over here. Oops, I don't want it red. Let's do the work in blue. Okay, so number 9. Okay, this one's going to take a little bit of zeros because we've got the x squared and then a 25. We don't have any x terms in there, but we do have the last number with -5, so we're going to need a +5. And then we're going to need a 1, a 0, and a 25. A 1, a 0, and a 25. So we're going to bring this 1 down. And we're going to multiply 5 times 1. Gives us 5. Combine those and you get a 5. You're just combining like terms. 0 and 5 together gives you a 5. These are all like pluses in here. And then you're going to multiply 5 times 5. So you get 25 when you multiply it. And when you combine that, you get 50. So your answer is going to be x plus 5. Let's put it underneath. So it's going to be x plus 5. I got that from here because this is like 1x plus 5. And then your remainder is 50 over the x minus 5. All right, let's see number 11 we could actually do on the worksheet itself because they made a mistake somewhere. So let's see if we can figure out their mistake. 3 times 1 is 3, and you add them and you get 5, so that checks. 3 times 5 is 15. Add those, you get 15. Good. And 3 times 15 is 45. You add them and get 52. So their answer is x1, x squared. That would be good. Plus 5x plus 15 plus 52 over x plus 3. The only thing wrong here is this right here should be x minus 3. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Well, if this was a positive 3, then that on the bottom would have been a negative 3. We didn't look and see the original problem here. I thought they wrote it correctly. No, what they should have done, if this was a plus 3 at the bottom, then to fix this, we should have put a negative 3 right there. So it's always the opposite of your bottom number or outside number. So that one would have been, the mistake here was negative 3. Okay, so if we want to correct this mistake, then you're going to get a negative 3 here. You're going to get a negative 1 here instead of the 5. Negative 3 times negative 1 will be a positive 3. So this is going to be a positive 3. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. So you would end up with a negative 2 there. So you would have x squared minus 1x. So this will just be minus x. And this would be a plus 3. And it would be negative 2 over the x plus 3. So that was a big change because they on a net positive 3 here, they had a negative. They got to put a negative 3. It's always the opposite. If you remember when we were doing number 5 and 7, if this was a negative 3, we had to use the opposite and do a positive 3. If this was a plus 2, we had to do the negative 2. Okay, so that's those ones. Now let's go to 13 through the end. So for 13, we're just going to do the synthetic division, and that will actually give us the answer. So if we're taking this and dividing it by the 5, okay, so the 5 will go outside. Actually, you know what? Let's make it in blue. It's easier to see it, I think. So 5 on the outside, and then we've got 2, negative 3, and 6. So bring down the 2. 5 times 2 is 10. combine those, you get a 7. 5 times 7 is 35. And then combine those and you get 41. Okay, 41 is your remainder. But 41 is also going to be the answer you get when you plug in a 5 right here. So if I put in a 5 into all of these x's, I would get 5 squared is 25 times 2 is 50, minus 3 times 5 is 15, plus 6. You get 35 plus 6, you get 41. So you get the right answer. So using synthetic division is the same as just plugging in that number. 15 we'll do down here. Okay, so the negative 3 is what we want to plug in. We want to plug it into a 1, a 2, a negative 5, and a 12. So bring down the 1. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, and then you just combine your like terms. CLT, combine them. It's like a plus in the middle there. And then we're going to do negative 3 times negative 1 would be a positive 3. And then you're going to combine those and get negative 2. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Combine those two and you're going to get 18. That would be your answer right there, 18. If you plugged in a negative 3 into all of these, negative 3 cubed plus 2 times negative 3 squared minus 5 times negative 3 plus 12, that answer is going to equal 18. All right, so there's your long division. So your job is to work on practice B, all of those, and the puzzle here at the bottom. You don't have to do 15 here, so that one you can skip. The rest of them should be pretty easy. Just to follow the video, the examples that we did, and then your puzzle has just ones that you can divide. Your answers are all down here, so you'll be able to check all your answers on those. All right, good luck.